So let's just talk about Eid. This is a day which I think I will forever remember. And I usually say Eid Mubarak, but on the earlier one, the first one, which comes after Ramadan. So that's okay. I say Eid Mubarak to my fellow Muslims, but I never say Eid Mubarak on this day, because this is a day of needless suffering of millions or hundreds of millions of animals around the world. Needless suffering. And in countries like Pakistan and I would say probably in India as well, animals are butchered in their backyards, in their garages, right in the plain sight of everyone. I remember I've seen them. I saw them when I was a kid in Pakistan. And there have been some videos as well where we've seen where kids been crying and they're trying to protect the goat because they get the goat a week, 2 weeks before, which is just showing you the actual compassion, the human spirit, that we resist cruelty towards sentient beings. But religion is purely cruel and evil. And it just says, okay, I'm not going into the meat eating argument, because I get it. It is a tough one. We don't give up anything unless we have a proper alternative. I get it. And vegans would tell you, well, we have everything. And, I tried 3 times. I've tried. And the longest I've been is like 4 months. And I'll try again. I know that, because the only thing that actually gets me on that argument is the suffering argument that I just can't get over.
It's primarily about cruelty, isn't it? And it's not just Islam. There's a Jewish, I don't know.
I'm going to talk about that.
Well, they whirl live chickens around their head. I don't know what that's supposed to achieve.
Right. So I'm going to talk about this because what they say is that when we criticize them every year, that, hey, this is needless cruelty to animals. Why can't you stun them and then eat them at least? At least that would reduce the suffering. Because we've all, not you all, we all have seen it. These goats and sheep and cows and camels being slaughtered, and they stay conscious. They're just bloodied on your floor, and they just keep shaking for up to 4 or 5 minutes sometimes. And they have us, and then they tell us, no, it's the most humane way because it's not conscious. Okay, and then what is that dance for? So every year they quote the story, this experiment by the German scientist William Schulz in the University of Hanover back in 1978. Now, apparently that study concluded that halal slaughter was more humane than slaughter following stunning. But Schulz himself, the chief researcher in that, sorry,
he's retracted.
Yeah, he retracted. He said he died in 2002. He said he warned in his report that the stunning technique may not have functioned properly. So there's no researcher that I would like to know who would like to shit on his own research. Would you? Would you know anyone? Unless they're like, oh, okay, I might have messed up somewhere. So anyway, so this is what I want to share with you, how cruel halal slaughter is. So one of the arguments was, in Schul's study, that when you sever the neck, then you actually cut off the nerve cells and the blood is gushing out. So animals are not feeling the gushing out part because the nerves have been cut.
Tells us they know nothing about anatomy.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I mean, William Schulz, he must be someone if he was researching. But the point is, he's saying that, okay, since the nerves are cut, that's why they're not feeling, the signals are not going through the brain. The pain signals are not going through the brain. So anyway, so there's another research done in 2019, which was actually, says Chris Sway, a UK Farm Animal Welfare Council, which has long argued for the practice to end. So anyway, so it was sponsored by them. But it says it provides further evidence, if it was needed, that slaughtering an animal without stunning it first is painful. Now, the study was done. Let me see. So it was done by Massey University in Palmerston North, New Zealand. So it's a proper university. So what they said the team first cut calves' throats in a procedure matching that of a Jewish and Muslim slaughter methods. They detected a pain signal lasting for up to 2 minutes after the incision. When their throats are cut, calves generally lose consciousness after 10 to 30 seconds, sometimes longer. So this is just the calves. And with adults, it could be longer. So the cut throat practice. The researchers then showed that the pain originates from cutting throat nerves, not from the loss of blood, suggesting the severed nerves send pain signals until the time of death. Finally, they stunned animals 5 seconds after incision and showed that this makes the pain signal disappear instantly. It wasn't a surprise to me, but in terms of religious community, they are adamant animals don't experience any pain, so the results might be a surprise to them, says Johnson. He praised Muslim Tabiya practitioners in New Zealand and elsewhere who have already adopted stunning prior to slaughter. They use a form of electrical stunning which includes which animals quickly recover from if not slaughtered, proving that the stunned animal is healthy, thereby qualifying as halal. So basically the whole argument that they had, that the nerves are cut, then therefore the signals are not going to go. But they're saying, okay, so yes, they're not going to feel the pain for the animal gashing, but they're going to feel the pain for losing, the trauma of losing your nerves. So anyway, so there's they measured it. They measured pain signals going through the brain. So when you see a helpless goat or a sheep or a cow who's been brutally, his throat's been slit, don't think that, oh, he doesn't know anything, what's going on. So this is how cruel that is.
Well, a couple of things on that, Harris, because it's always seemed weird to me that religions have such an obsession with sacrifice. It obviously harks back to a primitive civilization when life was considered to be cheap. And if you wanted to pay the best respect to your deity, you'd kill your son. It's stupid.
We're basically celebrating. They call it Sunnat Ibrahim, meaning the practice of Abraham. It's like, what is there to celebrate? I mean, this guy was about to slaughter his son because he was hearing voices in his head.
Yes.
I mean, Obama said something similar to that as well. I think he said, well, other people have said it too. I think Obama has commented. I wouldn't quote him. But it's like any other era, in this time now, any person who said it, doesn't matter which religion he comes from, which background he comes from, doesn't matter which card he's ready to play, any person who's about to slaughter his son's or child's neck would be imprisoned, probably for life, because that's an attempted murder. So, or for a very long time. And so what is there to celebrate? This is nothing worthy of celebration. This is condemnation, or actually now, because we know it never happened, that's why we can just laugh at it. We should be making fun of this stupid, barbaric practice. There's been another trend recently, but there's a positive news on that. You might have seen, I think last year, this video went viral where a cow was being lifted up by a crane nearly 2 stories high, and then poor cow just slipped through it, and he fell, what, I don't know, 2 stories high, smack, just, like a potato cake on floor. So that is quite a common practice. What people do, they take them to on their rooftop as a little calf. So now stairs have gotten smaller. The calf has grown up on the rooftop, and now how they bring it down. So they hire cranes, stupid geniuses. And it became very problematic. So Pakistan has actually now outlawed the practice, saying illegal to raise sacrificial animals on rooftops. Now, Sindh Livestock Department has pushed that legislation. The Sindh Livestock and Fisheries Department has written a letter to the Commissioner of Karachi raising concern about mishandling of sacrificing animals in urban areas. Sorry, it's not a legislation. Sorry, it's just a recommendation to the police by the Livestock Department. It has been noticed and repeatedly reported on media that some people have been raising livestock on the roof of their houses for 3 to 12 months, especially for sacrificial purposes. Raising livestock in such premises is not only illegal, but poses a continuous threat of disease transmission from animals to human. So I think it would have been better if they had said that it's not good for the animal welfare either, rather than just not good for human welfare. But either way, whichever way it comes, I think it'd be good if that practice is actually banned in Pakistan. All right, so that was the horrible tradition of Eid. So no Eid Mubarak. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.